Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Thank you for joining us. My name is Rakesh Rai, and I have been associated with Bullseye for over 17 years. I handle sales and marketing and corporate relations at Hitbullseye.com. My job also requires counseling students and gradually guide them to get into their desired institutions. With me, I have a distinguished guest for today from one of the premier B schools in India, that is IBA Bangalore. And so this interaction will help our audiences, all the MBA aspirants to make a strategy and get some clear picture about a lot of things that you might feel confused about, while thinking about MBA college. So as you all know that to support our students at Hitbullseye.com, we keep on bringing top colleges and their representatives to give a better insight about their college, institution, taste, and so on. So our journey at Hitbullseye started in 1998 with the name of Bullseye. We have 7 physical coaching centers in this region, and we have been into providing quality coaching for a lot of entrance exams like CAT and other UG programs, GRE, GMAT, and lot of other exams. Our portal Hitbullseye.com is an extension of Bullseye and was started in 2014 as a one-stop solution to crack most of the MBA entrance exams and other premier exams in India. So we have generated excellent results in past. We have consistently generated top percentilers in CAT, SAT, IIFT, and IPSAT, and NMAT, SNAP, and other exams. So this has been a precedent since many years, and I'm sure that we will continue this legacy with a lot of other students also, and obviously you people. So coming back to today's event, now in the process of helping our students, when we thought of getting a person to advise and guide about IBA Bangalore, we could not think of a better person than Dr. Subhendu. And he's an IIM alumni, PhD, and now guiding students as a professor and director at IBA Bangalore. So Professor Subhendu Day is a passionate educationist, researcher, consultant, and institution builder. So his expertise lies in providing people strategic and operational leadership. As the Dean of Globson Business School, the 5th ranked B school in Eastern India, Professor Day has been instrumental in creating Globson, a pedagogic innovation tool highly acclaimed by several reputed agencies, including CRISIL, as the founding director of RSP Chennai. Professor Day laid a strong foundation for the institution to bring it to the 8th best emerging B school in India. And he's currently associated with IBA Bangalore, as I said. And as a director of programs, he's providing academic and research leadership to the institution. And his case studies have been, published in top international journals and presented in top educational international conferences also. So these articles have featured in Economic Times, Times of India, and a lot of premier publications. So thank you, Dr. Subhendu, for taking out time and participating. So glad to have you here. And
thank you,
so we can already see a lot of questions pouring in. And without further ado, if you can give a little bit about, so with the first question I'll be asking, because Akriti has asked this question from Bhopal, why should a student try to get into IBA? If you can start with this, or maybe, you can give little background about IBA and you.
Okay. Now, let me start off by saying this, that for a large number of students, IBA is an aspirational B school. Some of the key factors that attract students are ever-evolving curriculum, which is industry relevant, which is created with the help of very senior industry leaders who are themselves decision makers in their respective industries, a unique learning experience that students get here in IBA through exposure and experience, highly rewarding placements and a bright career path. We normally talk about the career path more than only the first placement. An attractive payback period of around 14 to 15 months. Um, Let me explain all of these in a little more details, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. We have typically been receiving a very large number of applications every year, and at the end of the entire selection process, we assess the suitability of the candidate for IBA. We find that in their SOP, most of them write about their dreams and how IBA can give shape to their dreams and help them realize their dreams. Students also look at gaining a complete experience at IBA. We all know that business schools are not about the academics. It is about the experience that students get. It is that academics plus plus that students get here that guarantees a seat in IBA. IBA is also one of the early schools in India to get an international accreditation. We got accredited by IACBE, the International Accreditation Council for Business Education, back in 2012. And we were one of the very early schools to get an international accreditation. We've also received the reaccreditation of IACBE last year, which only confirms the high quality of academics that is followed at IBA. We are also accredited by the National Board of Accreditation, NBA, and our 2-year PGDM program has been granted equivalence as MBA by AIU. All the prestigious awards that IBA has been receiving over the years now gives a lot of confidence in the minds of students about the quality of education at IBA. The way IBA has been receiving awards on pedagogy and innovation for many years now also creates positive impression in students' minds about the continual change and improvements at IBA. We have also been consistently ranked in the top 1% of the schools in India by different ranking agencies. Faculty is at core of IBA's philosophy. Students get attracted towards IBA because of the high quality of faculty at IBA. Our faculty are not only excellent practitioner teachers, but are also highly capable researchers. Students are also attracted towards IBA's ethos. Dr. Subhash Sharma, one of the finest management thinkers in India today, has laid the foundation of the Institute on Indian ethos. His large body of research has helped shape the unique character of the institution brick by brick. Last but not the least is intentionally keeping a highly affordable fee for the PGDM program. This helps students recover the fee very quickly. At 14 to 15 months, the payback period or the time in which students recover their fee is very low for IBA students. This is another reason why students should try to get into IBA. I hope I've been able to answer Akriti to her satisfaction.
Yes, so thank you so much for the deep insight. So we have been long associated with the IBA, and I have seen a lot of students from Hitbullseye.com and our centers land there, and we have got tremendous feedback from our IBA's alumni also. So the next question is from Ankit from Chandigarh. So what kind of students IBA is looking for to take admissions?
Yeah, that's a good question, which I found many a times from the student side. IBA follows a very fair and transparent selection process for student enrollment. Selection of students is purely based on merit and comprises of 2 rounds of comprehensive interviews by our senior faculty members. The selection is based on a candidate's score in the competitive examination, performance in the 2 rounds of interviews, SOP, academic background, prior work experience, if any, and any other achievements. The well-defined students' learning goals help us understand the suitability of the candidate for IBA. Say, for example, one of the broad-based learning goals states that students at IBA will acquire teamworking skills as well as leadership qualities cognizant of holistic business environment. Now, during the interviews and while evaluating the SOP, we assess the candidate on his or her ability to be a team player. To take one more example to elucidate this point, another broad-based learning goal expects students at IBA to have the necessary oral and written communication skills to effectively interact with their stakeholders. Now, we lay a lot of emphasis on the communication skill of the students. Over the years, we have found that our students exhibit good leadership qualities, take responsibilities, are disciplined, have good communication skills, are ethical in nature, and thus they are appreciated by the companies where they work. In a nutshell, a student who can think, implement, they are ready to put in 2 years of serious learning effort becomes an ideal choice for us at IBA.
Right. So thank you so much. So there's another question from Gunjan from Kolkata. So because of this pandemic, she has asked, how has the ongoing pandemic impacted your classes and the curriculum? Because ultimately, a lot of
Okay.
students are apprehensive about, because of COVID, a lot of confusion was there since last 1 year, and how. So if you can guide, throw some light on it, sir.
Yes, Rakeshji, I know this has been a constant source of concern for many of the students. And believe me, it's not just the students, even we are concerned about what's happening. So as I see in the last 1 year, actually has witnessed a paradigm shift from what institutes have been doing for years, that is physically engaging students in instructional learning in the traditional settings. And from there, to moving towards a more flexible way of teaching and learning through the dismantling of geographical locations, if I may put it that way. At IBA, we have had our academics going on seamlessly despite students being at different geographical locations within the country. We hardly lost any time actually between our students returning back home and their classes starting last year, which was towards the end of end of March. During this period, IBA has conducted classes every day as it is conducted in the more traditional manner inside the campus. There has been no change in the regular timetable, and teaching and learning has continued in the similar manner, with the only change being the geographical dispersion of the students and faculty having to rely entirely on the technology platform for conducting classes. IBA has been using its Moodle-based learning management system for providing blended learning, flipped classrooms, and other e-learning based assignment and assessments and term ending examinations highly effectively. In addition to that, we actually very quickly shifted over to the Zoom platform for conducting regular classes at IBA. Addressing the technology part was only one part of the solution. We understood very early that the pandemic may stay for much longer than what we had initially anticipated for. So our faculty realized the need for a changed instructional design in order to maximize students' learning through the IBA's learning management system. In order to change the instructional design, faculty members were given the required training. Now, that was extremely important. All of a sudden, changing from the traditional setup to technology based online classes, they needed training. By looking at the more fundamental area of instructional design, we confidently equipped ourselves to take on the challenges of the existing abnormal, should it even be the new normal. So I hope Gunjan gets her answer from this.
Yes, yes. So, all right. So, as you talked about, I'm glad that the way IB, shifted towards online and all these stuff. But even then, I would like to understand there must be certain challenges, maybe if you can throw light on some kind of biggest challenges that you faced in the uh, catering to the upcoming industry demand, specifically at an uncertain time like this. So there's a lot of confusion. Again, if you can talk about maybe some employee or maybe some kind of recruitment, uh, how IB is going to cope up with.
Um, Mr. Rakeshji, your question put it aptly, uncertain time like this. Um, I think the biggest challenge, um, to my mind, that any organization is facing today is the extremity of uncertainty. Business schools are no different from that. Recruiters also realize that their businesses have gone through major changes in a very short period of time. Businesses will take time to be normal again, and the need for embracing the new normal is more real now than ever before. Of course, in this scenario, there are a few questions regarding placements for which clear answers may not be available even at this point in time. Say, for example, um, questions like will there be an over reliance on recruiting freelancers as opposed to full-time employees? Now, you know, Rakesh, that working from home is a reality now. Um, and a recent McKinsey report also talks in terms of uh, at least one-fourth of the workforce continuing from work from home even when the pandemic is over. So, will there be an over reliance on recruiting freelancers as opposed to full time employees? We do not have an answer for that at this moment. Also, will companies look for more specialized and narrow knowledge skills to reduce the impact of this sudden disruption? We do not have an answer to that either. To what extent will organizations be willing to let the pandemic disrupt their normal state of working without looking for alternate solutions? Again, a question which needs answer. Now, will the volume of recruitment get impacted as compared to the previous years? Um, I will give you some data related to IBA, which is positive in our case. Will there be any bearing on the compensation package? Again, I'll give you some data regarding IBA, which is again positive. So these are questions which really do not have very straightforward answers. But as I see it, recruitment, all of us know that it's a two-way relationship between organization and business schools. We all know that organizations need good the business schools need the organizations to get their students placed. So there was an anticipation that while companies will be reluctant to hire in the same numbers as in the past, They will still recruit a few, maybe much lesser than in the previous years. That's in terms of the numbers. However, with the economy showing some fledgling signs of recovery, it is expected that corporate India will start hiring in more numbers again. Now, that's the good part. The forced and increased dependence on technology in the recent times is expected to build a bigger marketplace in this year. Again, a good thing. So I would say overall the scenario is anything but gloomy. On the contrary, I would say it's quite good. I'm quite upbeat. The other concern, of course, is about compensation. Now, as I look at it, compensation of existing employees in some companies has shown a downward trend in the recent times. That's what reports suggest. In such companies, it is expected that the compensation package for the fresh recruits will be designed based on the current compensation of the existing employees. No doubts about that. Of course, companies that have not changed the compensation packages of its employees during this pandemic are expected to maintain parity between the existing employees and the new recruits. Our experience at IBA have been contrary to many of the observations made above. And as I kept repeating that I will come back to the IBA experience a little later, that with you here. We did not observe any change in either the recruitment or the compensation package offered to students of our outgoing batch as opposed to the previous year. We have also witnessed all the big names that regularly recruit our students to be back into the campus. The only difference was that up to this point in time, the entire placement process happened online. Of course, lately, companies have started inquiring about visiting campus physically, which is a very good sign. And again, that's another reason why we are upbeat about the whole process. Already, students have started reporting back to the IBA campus, and by mid-March 2021, we expect more than 80% of our students to be back into the campus. We also hope to reach normalcy in another 3 to 4 months from now. I hope that answers the query.
Yes, sir. So this was really detailed, and thank you for answering this. Now I can see a lot of questions that are pouring in. If I can compact them in one question, what suggestions and tips you would like to share to the aspiring managers who have given CAT this year and maybe applying to a lot of colleges in India?
Okay, who have given CAT this year and are applying for colleges
Yes.
this year? Yes. To all those students who have given CAT this year, my suggestion would be very simple. Choose your college judiciously. Look for the best fit. After getting admission into the college of your choice, work hard, participate and get involved in every curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular activity for the 2 years of your PGDM or MBA program. Build a rewarding career. I mean, that is what at the end of the day you are aspiring for. So go ahead and build a rewarding career. My best wishes to all the aspirants.
Thank you so much, Dr. Day, and your wishes are always, meaningful for our students. And a lot of students approach us for, to get an understanding about what kind of students' activities in MBA at IBA are is exactly, that happens in the campus, and how do they give overall exposure to the participants, or maybe somebody is pursuing their MBA in IBA.
Okay. Um, uh, Rakeshji, you would recall that earlier I had spoken about B school experience. That's much more than academics.
Right.
At IBA, we believe that in order to excel in their professional lives, our students not only have to do well in academics, I mean, that is given. They have to do well in academics, but it's not just the only thing. But also, they have to do well in all the co curricular and extracurricular activities that form an integral part of the experience that I spoke about. Let me elaborate this. Our students are given a platform to participate in various club and committee activities, which run parallel to the PGTM program throughout their stay with us for close to 2 years. Say, for example, cultural and sports activities are driven by a committee called YMCC, Yoga Meditation Cultural Center. This committee aims at inculcating social and cultural values among the students. As part of YMCC activities, students celebrate all the major festivals of India inside the IBA campus. This helps our students who come from various states to remain in touch with uh, their own state, the festivals, while allowing others to appreciate the festivals of the other states and religion. This also helps develop a very strong camaraderie among our students, which we have witnessed over the last 20 years of our existence. Another committee, the newsletter committee, facilitates management fests and is responsible for reporting all campus events through the quarterly newsletter called Udghosh. We have a committee called HOPE. HOPE is Higher Order Purpose Existence that encourages students to undertake social activities through working with the underprivileged. We also believe in empowering our students with responsibilities of immense importance. The I3 committee or the Industry Institute Interaction Committee is run by students under the guidance of a senior executive for summer and final placements. The I3 committee also serves as an interface between students and business leaders by organizing a wide range of events like workshops, seminars, guest lectures, etc. Apart from these committees, there are clubs in the functional areas of marketing, finance, HR, operations, retailing, business analytics, um, communications, and business quiz. Each club with its own budget has a very specific mandate and is run by students under the guidance of a senior faculty mentor. That's in a nutshell, all that our students do here in the 2 years of their stay in IBA.
Thanks very well. Dr. Day, one of the biggest strengths of IBA has been in core and academic pedagogy, keeping IBA not overexposed uh, and maybe through marketing and other activities. My question to you is basically a lot of questions as students approach us with one question that how IBA is unique out of so many colleges in India or maybe in Bangalore.
Um, there are many things about which I can talk here. Um, I've already spoken about the international accreditation by NBA, IBS, PGTM being granted equivalence to MBA by the Association of Indian Universities or AIU. Um, I can talk about innovations at IBA that not only makes a difference on the ground, but also gets recognized. Um, Say, for example, IBA has been recognized and mentioned as special institution in the category of excellence and innovation in management by Business World Top Education Brands 2020. And this is just one example. By the way, there are a lot of awards which IBA has got in various areas of pedagogy, innovation, etc. Um, One of the pillars of any good business school is its faculty, and I did mention about IB's faculty in one of my previous answers. IB has some highly experienced full-time faculty members. In fact, faculty at IB has an average industry experience of more than 14 years and teaching experience of about 15 years. So you can understand the richness of the faculty at IBA. Faculty brings in their significant industry teaching and research experience to the classroom through a very unique teaching and learning style which we follow at IBA. The PGDM program of IBA also has a dual specialization, and there are 15 value added courses that are aimed at enhancing skills for long lasting career opportunities and overall development of student personality. As part of our PGDM, all our students receive Six Sigma Green Belt certification from KPMG. They also go through Capstone, one of the best business strategy courses worldwide offered by Capson USA. Um, Let me think of other things. Yeah, during the program, students also visit a lot of industries for better understanding of the practical aspects of various concepts which they learn in the classrooms. They also undertake multiple life projects within India and abroad as part of their curriculum. Students also get an opportunity for foreign study tour, giving them highly useful global exposure. Also, IBA is one of those very few institutes to offer only one program from its campus. We offer only the management program from our green and very beautiful 8.5 acre pollution free campus. And IB also has very attractive scholarships and awards for meritorious students. These are just some of the top of the mind points that I can think of. There are many more differentiators which make IBA truly stand out as compared to other business schools. I hope that answers your query.
Yes, sure, sure. Uh, thank you. So, Dr. Day, can we talk about if you remember some famous alumni from IBA, or maybe you can talk about somebody you remember passing out of IBA and has some fond memories with you?
Um, you're talking about our alumnus, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, One of the things we are really proud about are our alumnus. They have proved to be worthy brand ambassadors of IBA over the years. They have done their alma mater proud through their achievements over the years. Um, so many of them have done exceedingly well in their professional careers, so it is really difficult for me to point just a few of them. However, let me try and see if I can do that tough work. Mm, okay, okay. Let me talk about Umesh Nair, our alumnus from the 2006-8 batch, who is now the managing partner of MSL Group in Malaysia, or Gauri Avasti, uh, a senior from the 2003-5 batch, um, who who is a much sought after digital transformation strategist, and a recipient of many awards. In fact, Gauri received the prestigious Most Admired Global Indian 2020 in Passion Vista Lifestyle Luxury Business International magazine. Um, she has also been nominated as one of the top 25 women achievers in new age media by Google. Mm, yeah, another alumnus who comes on top of the mind is Lugi D'Souza. Lugi is currently the executive director forex trading, handling Africa and Southern Africa at Stanchart Bank. Um, oh yes, and then there is Sandeep Sharma from our second batch, who is the CEO of two companies operating from Belgium and Singapore. There are many more about whom we can discuss, but I think instead of taking more names, let me just end by mentioning about the support that students at IBA keep getting from their seniors. So, for example, um, when the online classes started, we took advantage of our uh, alumni who are there scattered all across the world, and we organized a series of events. Um, the first series of events we called it Reflection, and the second we called it Hangout. In Reflection, alumni who are in very senior positions, like the ones that I just mentioned about, bring in their experiences of either setting up their own companies or their rich and varied experience of working in multiple countries across the world. Hangout, on the other hand, is a panel discussion where award winners in various categories from different batches during their PGDM days share their experience of what it takes to be an award winner in IBA and their journey post IBA. Now, all of these experienced alumni also give insights to students about the current scenario of their own respective industries. Now, that makes the discussion absolutely valuable for the students. All of these, of course, have been possible because of a very strong alumni association that we have at IBA and the zeal and enthusiasm of the members of the I3 committee in doing so. So I hope that gives you a decent perspective of the alumnus at IBA and the kind of impact they have been making to businesses and society for a long time now.
Sure, sure. That's awesome. So our students can take reference from it. Um, Now, Mohit from Chandigarh is asking, how have been the placements at IBA this year? Did you feel any impact of the pandemic on replacements? So I think if you can throw light on it, because a lot of students have, again, so this question is again popping up. We have touched a little bit in our, your previous answers, but if you can throw light again on it, how have been the placements at IBA last year?
Okay, I was getting a little surprised when you said Mohit has asked this. I'm sure this is a question which large number of students generally ask for. So therefore, when you initially said Mohit has asked for this question, I was a little intrigued. Yes, every student who wants to join a business school wants to know more about placements, and at this current juncture, yes, they have this constant worry that has the pandemic left any adverse impact on placements. Now, let me put it this way, that excellent placements have been one of the major hallmarks of IBA. Like all other schools, we were also surrounded by the uncertainties thrown in by the pandemic. However, with meticulous planning and the quality that IBA is known for, we found that placements at IBA have been good this year. And when I'm saying good this year, I'm just, I'm making it a little more lighter. It's a little understatement. However, some companies have been conservative on the hiring numbers this year, which was on the expected lines. We therefore worked on inviting new companies for campus placements this year, and as a result, about 15 to 20% new companies have participated in our placement process thus far. And among those new companies which have come in include some big names like PwC, Accenture, Collective, which is an ABFRL premium brand, etc. Now, this is in addition to the companies that have been participating in our placement process every year, being back for the campus hiring this year again. Some of these companies like Deloitte or KPMG or TCS or GT, etc., have hired our students this year as well. We've also witnessed a small upward movement in the average salary as compared to that of the last year. Um, this is exactly what I was mentioning in one of the previous queries where I was talking that there was a huge amount of uncertainty about the compensation, but I'm happy to share that we have seen a small upward movement in the average salary. So the compensation has not taken any beating at all this year for IBA students. So all in all, I would say that we have done extremely well during these times of crisis, with not only the regular companies recruiting our students this year as well, but we have also done admirably well in getting some more big companies for campus hiring this year. I hope that answers the query.
Truly, truly. And I think this answer will infuse a lot of confidence in all the MBA aspirants. Now, going forward, we are running already, because I can see more than 200 students, as an audience, maybe. So, can you give some insights into your fee structure? Maybe this is the second last question that we're taking, and something about your fee structure. Are there any scholarship schemes that IBA has, and maybe you can throw some light on it?
Yeah. Um, I remember while answering one of the earlier questions, I had spoken about our intentionally keeping a highly affordable fee for the PGTM program. The program fee is about 8.5 lakh. On top of this, meritorious students are also given very attractive scholarships. I had mentioned this as well in one of the earlier questions, where candidates are given scholarships up to rupees 60,000 based on their performances in class 10, 12, and graduation. Scholarships up to 1 lakh of rupees is given to candidates who have done well in their entrance examinations. In recognition of the sacrifices that our defense forces and CRPF personnel made, a special scholarship of 25% fee waiver is given in the memory of our late chairman, Shri BML Jain. Students who top in academics, excel in extracurricular activities, perform best in the corporate internship programs, etc., are given awards and scholarships of up to rupees 51,000. In order to encourage our students to work in unique areas, there's a special scholarship that is given to the student who excels in research initiatives as well. I'm not sure if there are many institutes encouraging students in this way as well. Just to give you an illustration, Rakeshji, for the current senior batch, scholarship amount of more than 6 million has already been dispersed. This is only going to further increase once all the results get announced and their program comes to an end. So this is in a nutshell about our fee and the scholarship schemes that we have at IBA.
Right. Thank you so much. So I can see a lot of questions. What I'll do is that, I'll take all these questions. So we are saving these questions. I'll be emailing to you and your team so that we can have, because all these questions can't be answered. We are learning already a little late. Maybe, so let me ask you one of the most difficult questions. The student has to, when they, land in some interview room, they are asked this question. Let me ask this question. I have this, if you can give me liberty on this. So in next 5 years, where do you see IBA, and what changes you expect will make IBA much better than what it is today?
Okay, okay. Um, all right. Um, I really don't mind your putting me into a candidate seat. So let me see how I can frame this answer and um, address it to the satisfaction of all our students who are listening at this moment to me. Um, well, IBA Bangalore is in the top 1% business schools in India and is one of the very early recipients of an international accreditation. The PGDM program of IBA, as I said earlier, is also accredited by NBA. IBA has created a niche for itself through the culture it imbibes in its students. The unique pedagogy of IBA has been highly appreciated both by students and the industry for 2 decades now. And IBA has also been recognized by many forums for the distinct role that it continues to play in the enrichment of management education in India. Uh, for example, once again, I'd like to give one or two more examples. I spoke about the Business World Award. IBA has been awarded the Economic Times Best Education Brands for 5 years in a row. World Consulting and Research Corporation has certified IBA process evaluated by KPMG as one of Asia's fastest growing institutes among many other laurels received by IBA. So I think, uh, therefore, there's a competition that IBA has with itself to keep performing at the optimum level through innovations in academic delivery, research, while keeping the foundations of its core philosophy intact. And I have also spoken about the core philosophy of IBA in one of my previous answers. So, over the next few years, I think IBA will continue to increase its focus on research that will benefit fellow academicians and also society, work closely with industry to understand the practical changes that the pandemic has brought in and align. And I'm sure all of us know that the pandemic is here to stay. Some of the changes are here to stay. And therefore, align its curriculum and pedagogy towards meeting the new challenges of the post pandemic times, as we believe that the after effects of the pandemic, once it has subsided, will alter many things permanently. So it's not a very short term thing that we are looking at. We believe that a whole lot of things would have altered permanently once the pandemic has subsided. I think we will uh, continue to incorporate newer practices in our academic delivery. We will continue to balance learning and, of course, the increased use of technology will be another focus area. And we will keep working towards continuous self improvements through the stated mission of the Institute. After all, I believe there is nothing better than self improvement. So that's I think where we look at IBA over the next few years. I hope that that addresses the query
Yes,
satisfactorily.
sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so students, relax. Uh, as I said earlier, that we have saved your questions. You will be getting all the answers. So, and before we wind up, I would like to throw light on our dedicated team of counselors, wherein we have a team wherein they suggest all the students and uh, guide them. So don't worry. The questions that you've asked, every question will be answered. And thank you so much, sir. Time to come. Time has come wherein we are going to depart. So we'll stay in touch. I'll give you a call, maybe maybe by weekend, so that we can have a thorough insight about what is happening at IB, and maybe we can again come up with a lot of answers, because questions are there. So many questions are there, and uh, best part was that the answers that you have given, I'll think it goes beyond only IBA. The insight that you have given, it is going to help all the MBA aspirants that we have, those who are watching us. And thank you once again, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, audience. Thank you so
Um,
much.
Rakeshji, thank you for this interaction and giving us the opportunity, giving me the opportunity to interact with a large number of students. Um, yeah, unfortunately, paucity of time, whichever questions we could not discuss now, uh, I'm sure
Definitely, sir. We'll be taking care
we
of
would
that.
be more than willing to respond to those. Thank you once again, and I hope the students found it useful.
Pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.